Hey Roadies, this is Adriana from Roadie Free Radio. In this episode, Larry speaks with Graham Mellor, a production manager, monitor engineer, and front of house engineer. Graham is also the owner of production company Sound Advice, where he provides services to several venues and tours such as Jamey Johnson, Don Was, Lukas Nelson, John Medeski, and The Last Waltz featuring Warren Haynes. In this short clip, Graham talks about the importance of doing what he does. In his experience, he just loves what music can do for people. It creates an escape. And if he doesn't do his job, someone's missing out on that. If you want to hear more about Graham, make sure to check out the full episode, number 167, from April 20th, 2020. Thank you for listening, and thank you for subbing. Here are Larry and Graham.
Everyone's going to jump out of their houses as fast as possible, and I think those people that have the gear and are in a situation to not have to liquidate stuff when this is over or have the banks foreclose or what have you, I think that we're going to be seeing, premiums on gear because you're not going to be able to find anything.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, with the Sturgill tour rescheduling, the Willie Nelson Outlaw Music Festival, we were supposed to do June, September, and October this year. We had a Last Waltz tour in November, also with Blackbird, who does the Willie Nelson tour. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see when those reschedule, because the faster they reschedule, the faster these artists are going to be able to get their hands on gear and buses and trucking, because it's going to be, as long as it breaks before September, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I would think so, man. I mean, there's just going to be an onslaught of music and touring and right. It's going to be nuts.
Oh, And thank God, not just from the financial. I mean, obviously, I'm partial to it. And from a financial aspect of it, but thank God just for the world. I mean, somebody had posted something the other day online about, next time you complain about money going to the arts, remember what you were listening to, watching, and doing when the quarantine happened.
Right.
I had a friend who was complaining. I'll make no bones about it. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I'm a really left-leaning person.
You've got to live free or die sweatshirt on, for God's sake.
This is from this is from the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion. This is their swag. It's got the Bank of New Hampshire thing on the back. And,
nice.
My favorite piece of swag from it, if you've ever been to the venue, is the best venue in America, maybe the best venue in the world. It's a little small shed.
Wow.
In Guilford, New Hampshire, and they really treat everyone really well. There's oysters and lobsters and all this food for catering.
Oh my God.
And they have these shirts that say, last year I think it was sex, drugs, and cases to roll. The year before that it was sex, drugs, and lobster rolls.
That's hysterical. Wait, which venue is this?
Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in Guilford, New Hampshire. They have a pool. They have a pool backstage for the roadies. They have a mini golf course backstage for the roadies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It's unbelievable.
I'm trying to think. I had someone on the show who was describing this place to me, and they were like, "It's the most amazing place to roll up to because it's just geared toward taking care of you."
It really is. And when they first built it, they just built it. Like a lot of people in the music business, they think that this is like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come and forget that it's called the music business and not the music fun time party town.
Right.
And so they built the venue, and then they really took suggestions to heart. They cared about the people that were coming to perform as much as they cared about the experience for the patron.
Yeah.
And it's really wonderful. So yeah, I might be wearing a live free or die sweatshirt, but it's because it's my favorite venue, and it's really a soft sweatshirt too.
Yeah. Sorry, but I pulled you off your anti-Trump rant.
No. I don't even want to say anti-Trump rant, but a friend of mine who's a sort of a fixture in the business in the Nashville music scene had said to me, the other day, he said, it's these damn liberals, and they're $25 million to the Lincoln Center, and then they go and they lay off all the orchestra, musicians or whatever after we give them $25 million. It's like, but it's the arts, that facility needs to stay open, and there's a lot more than just the players that happen. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm touting us as a road crew, but there's janitors and there's maintenance people and there's making sure that the heat stays on or the HV stays on. So I have no problem with stimulus money going to the arts, because let's face it, right now the only thing everyone has at home, unless you're really boring and you stand there staring at a fucking tree, all you have right now is the arts.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Why do you care so much, dude? You clearly care about this industry. You clearly care about what you do. Why do you care?
When I first started working for, I'll sum it up in one little quick story. When I first started working for Government Mule in 2014, when I went on full time with them as their monitor engineer, we had a production manager, TJ Centrella. Had been with the band for 10 years. He's now a production guy for Live Nation down in Florida. Great guy. And we were standing in Wyoming on the ski park, and we're standing on the stage that kind of like looks up the park, and everyone sits amphitheater style. And it was raining, and the truck ramp was sideways, and everyone on the road crew was complaining because it was cold, but it was the middle of the summertime, and it was probably 35 degrees, 40 degrees. And he came over and he looked at me and he goes, "This doesn't seem to be bothering you." I said, 3 years ago, I was standing in a manhole in 40-degree weather, and I bent over wearing like waders, and the water went inside of me, and it was 17 degrees outside. This is way better than that. And it's a great job. The people that you meet out here are wonderful people, meet out on the road. And I'm a player. I can see a guitar in the background in your studio. You're a player. We get into this. Ironically, we get into this because we love music, and I love to play. I love to perform. What I really love is to see what happens to people when that they have been diagnosed with a sickness. I've got a friend down in Long Island who was a huge Government Mule fan. He used to come. He was diagnosed with cancer, and his wife was, dying, and he'd had a sort of an unfortunate relationship with his wife for a few years because of her alcoholism. And he would come to the Mule shows, and that was like his happy place. Yeah. And music or theater or dance or whatever it is, it helps people. It transforms people in a moment of sadness, in a moment of need. It offers some levity. It offers maybe some perspective, but it offers an escape for people. And I think that those of us who are wardens of gear, production managers, those of us who are responsible for crew, who are responsible for gear, we get it up during the day and we take it down at night to efficiently give that opportunity to people to see that stuff. And I think that I take it as an incredible responsibility, because if we don't do our job, somebody doesn't get that escape. And it could be something as simple as like, man, my boss bitched at me today and I'm going to go see Sturgill and it's going to be a wild night, or it could be like Justin Lasik, who's out with Sturgill Simpson, who's a Green Beret who had an unfortunate accident last year and lost both of his legs. And Sturgill's been very big with donating to the Special Forces Foundation, did a tour last fall. And he brought Justin out with us, and Justin goes on stage every night and makes a little speech about what happened to him and about how the Special Forces Foundation will raise money, for families of these Gold Star families of people who've been injured and lost their lives, lost their loved ones overseas. And I think that that's important. And what other place can you do that? Can you offer hope to people, or maybe not hope, but you can offer a smile to people, 15,000 people a night. Yeah. And so that's why I care. Music's great. What we do is awesome, but what we give to people, I think, is just, how do you beat that?
That's tremendous, dude. That's amazing. Hey, what's happening, roadies? It's Larry here. Just wanted to thank you so much for listening to this short clip. I really hope you got something out of it. If you can take 2 seconds to head over to iTunes and drop us a review or a comment, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Keep listening, keep coming back, stay healthy out there, and remember, no roadies, no rock and roll.